Can I get some closure? Stay right where you are and don't come closer. If you haven't picked it up, it's over. You wanted her, so just give me what I...
Okay, gamers and gamettes, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another Spellbreak video. And before we get into today's video, guys, as usual, let me do my shameless plugins. If you're not, make sure you're following me at all the appropriate social media at Tanek127. That includes Twitter and Instagram. And if you want more Spellbreak news, contents, guides, and stuff like that, make sure you are liking today's video. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. And for everybody, please ring that silly bell so that way you never miss when I upload a video. So what is going on today, guys? Welcome back to another Spellbreak video, and for today's video I am giving you guys a really simple beginner's guide on Spellbreak, breaking everything down, and I'm going to do a real interesting mechanic in this video where I compare it with other battle royales so the mechanics in this are a bit more understandable. Now I'm going to give you guys one little piece of advice that I give to a lot of my friends and stuff like that in Spellbreak. And before we get into that, big disclaimer, I'm no Spellbreak expert, alright? If you guys saw my gameplay trailer, well, my gameplay preview a few weeks ago before the game came out, I played with, really high skill level players and developers, and I got my cheeks straight clapped. But also, with that being said, I did get to play with really skilled players and developers, so I also did learn a few things. So keep that in mind. I'm an okay guy. That's just saying I'm no expert. I'm just making it known that there's probably tons and tons of more skilled people out there better than me. I'll be honest about that, and I have no problem admitting that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break things down, especially these gauntlets. Now, if you've played other battle royales, things like Fortnite, PUBG, anything that's, usually guns and shooter based, this is probably going to seem a bit weird to you. Now, if that's the case, let's go ahead and get started because I have something really interesting that I want to bring to your attention. So we're going to start here with the runes. These are basically movement abilities that your character will get throughout the match. This is your legendary invisibility rune. What this does is pretty self-explanatory. It makes you invisible. And like all battle royales, all kinds of runes, weapons, they have different tier rarities. You got the gray, which is common. You got the green, uncommon. You got the blue, the rare, the purple, the epic. And then you got the orange, the legendary. It's the same thing as every other BR. Your goal is to get everything as high colored as possible. You don't want to be running around all white. But invisibility just makes you invisible. People can't see you. Point blank, that's pretty self-explanatory. You have your dash rune, which gives you a extra dash ability, really handy for combat. Now we personally have my favorite right here, the Featherfall rune. This rune I love, and you know why? Because this rune pretty much turns you into a magic firing AC 130 in this game. And no, I'm not kidding. Watch. You go all the way up. You got opponents on the ground. Bam, 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 bam. You are lighting everyone on fire, on poison, or whatever the heck it is you like to do. Spring step. This is more so another type of one that's really good for dodging and stuff like that. It just gives you a little bit of an extra jolt. As you can see, it has a really fast recharge rate. And it's just another good thing for movement. Legendary flight rune, pretty self-explanatory. Lets you fly, turns you into straight up Batman. Here, I'll show you guys once the charger goes head on down. Oh wow, and I messed that up. Oh my god, you guys can see I'm a real rookie at this. But no, the legendary flight rune just lets you fly. Just gives you a little glide mechanic, that's all. See? You can fly, go wherever you want, and all that fun stuff. Let's get over here back to the runes so I can keep showing you guys these. The legendary Blood Wolf's rune, this would be your typical UAV. If you've ever played Call of Duty, you know what a UAV is. If you don't, this basically lets you see enemies that are in a certain vicinity around you. Now, the more rare you get the rune, I would assume that the better the distance is. You cast it, but the enemies do get a fair warning that you've used it because you'll let out this loud wolf-like howl. So that will put people on alert saying, hey, if I heard that noise close by me, chances are there's some guy wandering around that knows where I am. And then last but not least, you have the Teleportation Room. which this one basically is just lets you teleport wherever you aim it at. Now keep that in mind. You teleport wherever you aim this thing, so make sure you get familiar with the map and take advantage of this. Wherever you point that thing at, that's where you're going to teleport, and that's the cool part about it. So if you're trying to get out of a heated battle, aim it as far away from your opponent as possible. Pretty simple. Now we're going to come over here to these 3 items and let y'all know what these are. These all coincide with your build that you're going to build up during the game. And it was like I was saying earlier, one big thing that I tell people when it comes to Spellbreak is try and look at Spellbreak as a MOBA on a giant playing field. Don't look at it as a battle royale. It's all about your build and how you get yourself set up for that end game battle. And look at that end game battle as the final circle. You know when you're playing a MOBA and you want to make that final push against the enemy to take out the boss, go against the enemy's best builds and stuff like that? Well, essentially you're doing the same thing here. Amulets, they increase your mana. What is mana, you ask? Every time I fire my fireball, do you guys see that little bar that appears right under my crosshair? That's my mana. If you were playing a shooter battle royale, in short, that's going to be your magazine. When that bar runs out, that means it's time for you to reload. You need to let that bar fill up. Plain and simple, clean as day. Belts. These are what give you your armor. You guys are going to notice that my armor at my bottom left corner is at 0. That's because I don't have a belt on. Armor is rechargeable. You can pick up armor shards or armor potion just like you would in any other type of battle royale game. If I equip one, as you guys can see, my armor is now full. Boots, obviously, pretty self-explanatory. They increase your movement speed. It doesn't get any better than that. The better of a boot you get, the faster you run. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. Now, these are the gauntlets. These are going to be your weapons. If you've played any typical battle royale like PUBG, Fortnite, or anything, like I said, these are your guns. The cool thing about this game is you get 2 guns. You get one in your left hand and one in your right hand. Your right hand, unless you switch it in options, that's always going to be your primary gauntlet. You're going to spawn with one, and you get to pick one at the beginning of every single round. So now, let's start with wind. Take a look at that. Wind, pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. And also, not to mention, every gauntlet comes with 2 types of attacks. You have its single attack, and then you have some type of AoE-based attack that's, good for covering distance or hurting multiple enemies or doing damage over time. But wind, it's pretty simple. Wind, I would compare it to your typical throwing knife in any other type of battle royale game. Here, allow me to demonstrate. Look familiar? Yeah. And then guess what wind's AoE does? You want to take a big guess? A tornado. Toss a little bit of fire in that bad boy, you have a flaming tornado to suck somebody in. Oh yeah, did we mention that these elements can be blended together? Now, I don't know every single elemental combination, but make sure you just experiment with them. Screw around, see what you like most. But yeah, wind, like I said, it would be your typical throwing knives in any other shooter. Good range, throw them quickly, but the damage that they do is like overall they don't hit very hard. Now, the legendary lightning gauntlet. Lightning, I really like this one, and I like to compare this to your typical SMG if this were a shooter. The lightning would basically be your SMG. So here, allow me to demonstrate. Rapid fire doesn't do heavy damage. Doesn't do heavy damage from far away, but shoots quickly and is good for close-up combat. And then, of course, your AoE for lightning is a good old lightning storm. Hits hard, does one solid hit. However, it can hit multiple enemies and stun them. So remember that when it comes to lightning. Now, toxic. This one I would honestly just compare to your typical grenade launcher in a shooter. You know when you played Modern Warfare 2 and you had those guys that were annoying with the noob tubes? Yeah, that's how toxic is in this game. Allow me to demonstrate. Your fire looks just like a little nice tundra of grenades, doesn't it? But it also leaves a little pool right around the enemy that will do damage over time. And then you also have this good old toxic cloud that, again, it's a nice big AoE, and you can see it's hitting her for 6 over and over and over again. Nice, nice long damage over time thing. Now Frost. Frost is going to be your sniper or your typical crossbow kind of class. And no, I'm not kidding. I mean that literally. Take a look. Now, unfortunately, I can't demonstrate it because I'm using it in my left hand. But if you use Frost as a main, it'll also leave a long ice trail in the direction that you shoot that you can skate across and increase your movement speed. But be careful because it melts after a while. It turns into water. And guess what? If you're fighting someone that uses fire, they're going to turn it into water even faster. And as of the ice AoE, I'll go ahead and show you guys that right here real quick. Ice is definitely one of those ones that you want to blend with other elements. Fire, pretty self-explanatory. We'll go ahead and click this one here real quick. Fire, I would compare it to your typical single-shot DMR rifle. Let me explain. It's just your basic, simple fireball. You throw it at the enemy. I'm off a little bit. Forgive me on that. There we go. Seems we had to aim a little bit above our crosshair. It's hard hitting, does anywhere between 30 and 40 damage per shot, but remember, you gotta fire them one at a time. And fire's AoE goes in a straight line, just real simple, does damage over time and a wide spread. So if you got a nice duo coming towards you head to head, you put that firewall there, toast them, or you can also use that to slow somebody down. Because remember, if someone sees a wall of fire there, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to just run through that thing. And now, last but not least, we got the Stone Gauntlet. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a fan of the Stone Gauntlet at all because this game, people like to hang out in the air a lot. And you're going to notice that when you play here. Everybody and their mom is in the air, firing spells down right on your forehead. Well, Stone has a little disadvantage that I'm not too crazy about. But if you get good with Stone, Stone can be one of the most painful, hard-hitting ones out of all of them. But the problem is, there's a learning curve to it. Allow me to explain. As you guys can see, there is a gap here because she's on the ground. Well, guess what? Stone is a ground-based attack. And as you guys can see, because of this gap, I could not hurt her. But if I come over here, where there's ground connected to her, it hurts. And as you guys can see, Stone does about 40 and 50 damage per hit. If someone's not wearing armor, you can two-shot them with Stone. Stone is strong, but like I said, the only caveat about it is it has to be done on the ground. The person has to be touching the ground. And everybody in this damn game loves to fly. Now, Stone's AoE can be used from anywhere, but it's pretty simple. Throw a rock at their head. And I missed because I'm an idiot. But that thing also hurts like hell. And if you see a couple enemies around, it also does break up. And it can hit people, as you guys can see, for AoE damage. But Stone, ultimately, its main attack is the most useful one. But like I said, it has a long trail. It does great AoE damage. But like I said, it's just limited to the ground. Now, last but not least, guys, let's go ahead and take this guide over to builds. And I'll teach you guys a little bit about building your character. Now, if you come over here on the main screen and you hit play, you'll notice there's a section over here to the bottom right that says talents before you pick the class that you want to start as in the game. If you push Y, X, or square, depending on what platform you're on, you can go to edit these talents. Now, like I said, and I've said it, a couple times in this video now, this game is very MOBA-like. Yes, this is where the core build of your character starts. You're going to have a total of 6 talent points. Now, I'm assuming that as, time passes, they're going to probably add more talents to this game, give you additional points and stuff like that to mess around with different things. But as you rank up the different gauntlets and classes in this game, it's one thing that it does do to unlock everything. You're going to need to play and experiment with different classes. As you guys can see, like Spell Slinger here, for example, I don't unlock that until I get Wind to rank 6. But it's going to encourage you to play with different classes. Now you have You have a talent for each section of your character. Your mind, body, and spirit. As you go through the map, you're going to find scrolls that let you upgrade these. Each one of these can be upgraded 3 times, meaning basically every time you find a scroll and you upgrade it, that part of your build is going to be increased more. So for example, as you guys can see here, I have focused mana on my mind. If I find a mind scroll on the map, it's going to increase the effectiveness of focused mana. So with 80% mana, my spell damage is plus 15%. Well, if I find a scroll and upgrade it, it might be with at least 70% mana, my spell damage will go up to 18% or something like that. You know, it'll increase every single time. Now remember, you got talent points here, so you're limited to what you can put, and you can put 1 trait in each section. So you have traits here in the mind section, you have different traits here in the body section, and then you have different traits here in the spirit section. Now, what I've noticed with these is the mind is more focused on your attacks. The body is more focused on like defense and different things that that can help out your overall build for in combat. And the spirit are ones that are more based on like agility, movement speed, and different kind of things like that. Like some you can drink potions faster and everything. Now this part is all up to you. Finding a build that that works out for you. Me personally, I use focus mana because I like the additional spell damage. I personally have used fortitude. Use fortitude a lot because it creates a barrier that absorbs 1 source of damage before reforming. And me, I'm not the greatest in combat yet, so that comes in handy for me. Like I told you guys, I'm a rookie when it comes to this game. And then I also use Vital Stone, which on disruption resurrect with 10 health, and you're immune to damage 4 seconds after resurrection. Like I said, I'm a newbie to this game. I die a lot, so Vital Stone is a good one that I would honestly recommend for beginners. And you do get that one pretty early on. Unfortunately, I don't remember what you have to rank up to get it, but like I said, just come take a look at the screen, mess around with different classes. You'll be able to see that for yourself. But anyway, guys, that's going to be my little beginner's guide for Spellbreak. I hope this is enough, to help you get started and things like that. If you guys want more in-depth tutorials, some builds I recommend and different things, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. But anyway, guys, if y'all enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up button for me. And I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy Tenek127, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out, take care.